the conceit that like entire cities across the world are dying, like they're giving their farewell on the radio to one another, and then comedy scene. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are here with another episode of Space Battleship Yamato. We are still in the back-to-back with my first recording, so I don't have any notes, don't have any board, as I stated last time. Although I can tell you what we saw, which was, of course, the end of the Earth Defense Fleet. I was very surprised that that's how he started. That's why I was like, oh, is he on that ship? No, he's not on the ship. Oh, wait, maybe he is. Because I just anticipated that we were going to see either the space battleship. I guess I'm just calling Yamato. We all know what ship I'm referring to when I say Yamato. I guess I just anticipated just seeing the Yamato first off, and then maybe getting a backstory about it. Or, I don't know, it's the element of what did I know before going into this that catches me off guard, which is to say that I expected some sort of underground, super oppressed people who were tunneling into the bottom of the Yamato and making it the method of justice or revenge for what has been done to the people of Earth. But instead, we got more of a Battlestar Galactica, the fall of mankind, just without the explanation of who the Cylons are here, because the enemy just came and attacked us. Again, I'll have more notes on that when I actually go back and rewatch everything and, take legitimate notes. But, yeah. And more so the fact that we have, like, our Starbuck and Apollo in this show as well. They found the dead alien woman, which I guess also surprising, considering it seems to have been like an emissary from Iskander, which I remember that, letting them know that they have the cure for... Sorry, I'm just realizing something as I'm saying this out loud. They have the cure for basically the radiation poisoning, killing everything on Earth, and they say that you have to get here within a year. And I was going over the fact that they are 148,000 light years away, and I had said, oh, they have to get there in a year. But in reality, they have to get there in 6 months, assuming that it's like an instant cure, because if it's not an instant cure, they have to get there with time to spare to bring the cure back to Earth. Like, they did not go over how the engines are going to work, right? So, it's either they are going to be pressed for time, or they are going to be waylaid by the enemy in so many ways that the time is going to be an issue. These are my expectations, right? I could be completely wrong. In the same way that when we reacted to SDF Macross, I expected the journey from the Pluto's orbit back to Earth to be the entire show, and it turned out to just be part of the first arc of the show. So I'm often wrong about 70s anime because the stuff that I grew up with, for one thing, I think was made in the late 80s to 90s, because that's just how anime releases worked in America. We got stuff real late. But also, just the element of stuff that I came up with, or grew up with, rather, was already based on existing tropes that were then either trying to change the dynamic of tropes to be less expected by the audience, or were refining said tropes in ways that older shows don't get the respect for that they should. Something I've talked about in the past, that the first thing to do a thing is most respected by the audience that first has contact with that. Whereas newer audiences are less impressed because they've grown up with shows that do the thing, but they do it in a more refined way and with combinations of other tropes that are also being refined that make them so much more complex than the original thing. It's harder to look back when you didn't grow up with it, right? Anyway, yeah, I was saying, I was surprised that lady didn't survive, because again, she looked like an important character. I had described before we even saw her that I thought it was going to be an alien that would be a representative among the crew, so that we'd have a bunch of humans, apparently a robot, a Robbie the Robot stand-in, and an alien. Sorry, I think I said aliens before. I meant to say human, Robbie the Robot, and aliens. I often say the wrong word, and I go back into editing and hear myself say the wrong thing, and be like, no, I can't take it back. It's already in recording. I guess if you ever saw Ulysses 31, I guess I was thinking of a Ulysses 31 scenario where, you have the dad, robot, the young human boy, and the alien girl. That representing the crew of the Yamato here is what I kind of was thinking in my head. That said, though, our characters stumbled across the, I don't want to say wreckage. It's more like debris at this point, since apparently it's been sitting. I don't know where they're trying to indicate it's been sitting, because the fact that the oceans are gone, this thing could have been in a former harbor, or they could have sunk it. Because I recall that original Yamato beached itself near the end of the war to use its cannons as essentially artillery during a land battle. So I don't know what they actually did with Yamato after that. I would imagine they would have stripped it for medals and whatnot, but never looked into it. But yeah, no, they encountered it. They are trapped on the surface right now because they crash landed. So either they're going to walk back or discover something here at Yamato. And I believe the concern I was leveling at the very end of the episode was the fact that if the Earth's surface is so irradiated that the radiation is penetrating 1 kilometer down, that these two guys in spacesuits probably aren't in a good way if they stick around. They've got to get somewhere and fast. My interpretation. That said, I've been rambling for quite a bit, but then again, like I said, I just watched the last episode. I still have a lot of thoughts up here. This will all kind of come back in the notes and the board later. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop on in and see where episode 2 takes us.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Fire the signal gun. Space Battleship Yamato takes off. Yeah, and also, again, we have to talk over the opening and do the little vision blocking layer thing, because copyright. Because the most copyrighted thing to ever happen is always in the opening credits, the music. But the ending credits, which we also have to do the same thing for, were indicating that this version of the opening was changed to express, I think, the Yamato rising up from the ground. Which I don't know if that's supposed to say that it didn't happen in the first episode, or it fixed something that was wrong. Because as was indicated before, the fact is that the end credits were also adding possible spoilers. But I think they mentioned episode 13, I said 18. And I just looked away. Sorry, there's also an element here that the song lyrics are still in Japanese on this episode. I could have sworn they were in English last time. As I don't think I just picked out Iskander out of nowhere. Okay. We're going with something closer to Voltace 5 then, I feel like. Just a galactic superpower that's taking over planets. In that case, the Boazneans.
そんな時、優勢爆弾の放射能汚染から人類を救うべく、イスカンダル星から救いの手が差し伸べられた。
Even then, even if they do get there and back again,
しかし、イスカンダル星は銀河系から14万8000光年も彼方にある星だ。
they've got no means to protect the Earth.
コスモクリーナー D を取りに来いというのである。一体14万8000光年という気の遠くなるような長い旅に耐えられる宇宙船は地球にあるのだろうか。
More so in the time frame that they've given.
だがヤマトは260年の眠りから未だに覚めない。それでも放射能は刻々と地球を侵し続けている。人類絶滅まであと1年もかからないだろう。
Yeah, that's the time thing. Also, not for nothing, but the Yamato would also...
正午より沈黙。ケニア、パニック状態に陥っています。
Huh.
モスクワ、さよならを打ち続けています。北京、リオデジャネイロ、出力低下。電波キャッチ不能。
This is very much on the beach. I mentioned that movie, last reaction.
0.5キロ降下。
ヤマトの進行状況は予定より 3% 遅れていますが、作業は進行しています。司令、わしは行く。もう一刻も
I was saying the Yamato itself, the radiation would be the entire hull.
14万8000光年の旅はわしの命を奪うことになるかもしれない。しかし、イスカンダルへの旅は命をかけるだけの値打ちがあるとわしは思う。
I mean, the real thing is that if Iskander's holding off this alien invasion, that would be a worthy ally.
今は一人でも若い人が必要な時だから。
What's the point? I mean, I guess the robot identifies as a male because it was saying shit like that in the first episode.
これだ。お前はダメだよ。そのズタじゃ乗れないよ。
私、かさばらない。
ダメだったら、お前は何も関係がない。
Yeah, again, it's the why.
厳罰だぞ。
4年ごとき場所、私の能力発揮できない。
知らないぞ、分解されちまっても。
Also, you're not in the backseat in that shot. I don't. It is very disassociating itself from the conceit of
なんだ。あ、サード先生。
the conceit that like entire cities across the world are dying, like they're giving their farewell on the radio to one another, and then comedy scene. I just feel like you don't put those two things so close together. The engine of the Yamato, obviously. Also, if the radiation is penetrating to 1 kilometer deep, and we saw the top of the Yamato on the surface, this entire area has to be flooded with radiation. I think at this point, these people have to get to Iskandar to get the cleaner for their own sakes, because I feel like these people are already dying of radiation.
来たか。あ、あ、
And just for anybody who's doubting in the reaction audience right now, I've had like 4 to 5 doses of radioactive iodine and directed beam radiation on me for my health concern issues, so when I talk about radiation shit, I am not pulling shit out of my ass. I understand how radiation is deadly.
なんだお前は。
はい、私この人たちの親友です。一緒にこの船に乗せてください。
よかろう。
Also, I just sexually harassed that woman a little while ago.
特別訓練を受けた君たちに来てもらったのは他でもない。この船に乗り組み、それぞれ責任
Also, really weird that she's on the bridge when they left her behind a moment ago.
しっかり頼むぞ。
でも艦長、この船はもう完成したんですか？
残念ながらまだエンジンのチェックが済んでおらん。それが済めばとりあえず補助エンジンで公開できる。メインエンジンは君たちが火星から持ち帰った通信カプセルの設計図をもとに作ったのだ。だからこれは今までの地球のエンジンとは全く違うものを取り付けた。惑星イスカンダルの宇宙航海用波動エンジンだ。
Whatever it is, it has to be faster than light speed.
宇宙船と互角に戦えるというわけですか？
多分な。しかし古代、実戦は訓練とは違うぞ。甘く考えるなよ。しかも我々の任務はガミラスと戦うばかりではない。もっと遠大な計画があるのだ。それに
I don't know how speed is going to make you able to fight them better, but we've already seen that the missiles... I'm sorry, the missiles can destroy Gamma ships, so... we can already fight one-on-one with them. I imagine they've detected the energy source of the engine, and that's why they were flying Scout over it. Is the top of the ship like a decoy? Because it's so freaking ruined that I don't anticipate they're going to go up there this episode. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't understand what they're going to do at the top of the ship when this thing rises up, but I guess we'll see. I do appreciate that they're being more realistic with like the rockets and stuff than they aren't like say Voltace 5, where it's just like constant barrage of never-ending rockets coming out of a rocket launcher. Was that our mid-episode transition? Did not actually expect them to look human. Maybe Macross is influencing me or something, but I thought they were going to be something else.
中空母は月軌道を離脱降下してきます。
艦長、このままじゃこの船はめちゃくちゃになってしまいますよ。まだ動けないんですか？
補助エンジンチェック完了。エネルギー充填 100%。
廃炉よし。始動シリンダー準備よろし。
Oh, love the angry face. Again, it's gonna be the torpedoes that we know have been more effective than anything else. We never saw any of the energy beams actually being effective. I guess they're just running out of people. Oh, okay. They literally rebuilt the thing from the inside out so that the ruined outside hull was just a distraction. Like a chocolate shell on a peanut M&M. Sorry, I might be hungry. I don't know. I guess the one drawback. Okay, obviously those are the torpedo holes there. Torpedo tubes, I mean. The one drawback is obviously the giant cannons are going to be laser cannons, and again, we barely saw those work last time. And I really liked what the missile boat was doing. Oh, that's pretty cool, though. It's hard to beat the look of World War II era battleships. Surprised that they stopped fighting or stopped shooting at you. I mean, I know we're going off of this whole let's show off the Yamato part, but they were bombing the shit out of you. It's surprising that they stopped, especially when you lift it off. Yeah, what training? You were trainees yesterday. Oh, Führer, huh? More space Nazis. It is an interesting separation of controls. That one guy does the targeting, but the captain is the one who pulls the trigger. He said the thing! We'll do like the logo of the Earth in the background of the bridge. I'm imagining that's going to be a giant cannon at some point. We look at Gamulus or whatever it's called. Of course, couldn't make the planet look more evil, could you?
戦線攻撃隊から入電。地球に大宇宙船が出現。我が機動部隊壊滅。かねて偵察中の鉄くずと思われていた船は大宇宙船となって蘇ったそうです。地球人はその船をこう呼んでいます。宇宙船。
How do you know that? Is the robot a spy?
ヤマトだと。地球人め。
You're Tesla.
宇宙艦隊を集結させろ。ヤマトの反攻作戦に備えるのだ。
I don't know. It seems very on point.
それはヤマトが戦艦として誕生した時に決定づけられたと言ってもよい。それが戦うために生まれてきた戦艦の宿命とも言える悲劇だった。
Yeah, unfortunately, the Yamato was too important to dedicate to actual fighting.
西暦1945年、第二次世界大戦は今や終わろうとしていた。ヤマトだ。
ヤマト？
そうだ。よく見ておけよ。あれが戦艦ヤマトだ。日本の男の船だ。忘れないようによく見ておけ。
西暦1945年、押し寄せる300を超えるアメリカ艦隊に戦いを挑むべく、戦艦ヤマトは護衛艦10隻を従え、日本海軍最後の艦隊として出撃していったのである。もはや一機の援護機の姿もなく、片道分の燃料だけを積んでの出撃は、まさに二度と帰らぬ覚悟をした決死の出撃であった。
Are we going to get a different version of history?
午前7時04分。戦艦ヤマトはアメリカ軍空母より発進した延べ1000機にも及ぶ艦載機の攻撃にさらされた。
Because this is more like what happened to the Bismarck than what happened to the Yamato. The Bismarck was trailed through the entire, well, not the entire Atlantic, through a large portion of the Atlantic, especially after its rudder got destroyed and it couldn't turn. We just got getting bombarded by planes and a whole fleet that was chasing down. This is not the story of what I heard happened to the Yamato. God, there's probably something really objectionable, what I want to say right now, but I'll hold off. Yeah, I could imagine that Star Blazers could repurpose the Yamato as like a Bismarck or something, because this is very much how the Bismarck goes down.
午後3時、この地上最大の大戦艦は九州南東大ヶ崎の沖260度90マイルの海底へ巨大な黒煙を上げて没し去ったのである。それは戦争という目的で作られた戦艦の悲しい運命であったのかもしれない。
Again, it's going to be the weird perspective of me, an American, commenting about the honor of Japanese sailors and a legendary ship, right? Obviously, my opinion, or my viewpoint, is the unwanted outsider opinion here, so...
この宇宙戦艦ヤマトは戦うために改造されたのではない。本当は放射能で生物が全滅するのを避けるために、
Oh, like an arc.
人間や動物を乗せて地球を脱出するのが目的だった。広大、島、君たちは地球脱出のために特別訓練を受けてきた。ヤマトの目的は変わったが、君たちの受けてきた特別訓練の成果は活かせるはずだ。しっかり頼むぞ。 分かっています。帰ってこなかった兄
I
さん
mean, it explains why they have a decorated vet on board. If it was meant to be an arc before.
14万8000光年は絶望的に遠い、未だ人類の経験したことのない宇宙飛行だ。しかし、波動エンジンさえ完全に働けば必ず行ける。いや、わしが必ず行くぞ。行って帰ってくるのだ。
We can see the wave motion engine at work by the end of this episode, though. And by the way, I am aware that this show predates Battlestar Galactica. As per all my references to that show before. Yeah, also, you need to know how long it takes for the radiation curing thing to work, because if it works like over the course of a month and you get back with a day left, doesn't matter. We're just kind of hand-waving that information with this little timer we have. Alright. The thing I was going to talk about, and God forbid if there's any spoilers here, I'm not paying attention anymore. God damn it. I will take care of this part in my notes. Alright? Don't worry about it. Or tell me if it's a spoiler and I should worry about it. Whatever. We'll find out. Sorry, goddamn, it's so incredibly hard not to look over and read it, and I apologize to you on YouTube that everything is well above that line in the cover thing that I have to do for copyright, so you have no idea what I'm staring at. But anyway, what I have always heard, and I believe that this even comes up with me and Lessons talking about it when I was having a conversation about my desire to watch this show with him once before, is that the Yamato beaches itself and is used as an artillery piece at the end of the war because it was too important throughout the war to dedicate to any specific battle. So it never got put into harm's way. And then by the end of the battle, it was more important to defend the Japanese homeland than it was to push back the U.S. assault by sea. So this feels like a new history, a reinterpretation of history. I'm trying not to make broad generalizations off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I typically try to avoid making statements like this because I often find that I am not the brightest bulb, right? One of the facts that I know is that there's a half-life to facts. My point of view is very much been decided by people that came long before me. Ultimately, I do feel like I've harped about this or rambled about it for way too long. I'm the idiot. I don't know. There is no... If I am ignorant, it's the hardest thing to fight through. Ignorance, right? Because you also have to fight through your own unwillingness to recognize that you are ignorant. The show, though, I am surprised that they bombed the thing for, like, a couple of minutes and had no effect. And then when it raises up out of the ground and just kind of spins, they stop bombing it. Like, did they run out of bombs? I guess. But then again, they did nothing. Like, the thing raises up. We even time how long it takes the cannon tube things to raise up and point at it. And they do nothing. They just keep floating there because we could see it right above their heads in their little hologram display screen. So very surprising. Also, I appreciate that they explained what they were doing with the ship all this time. Because, they were going to use it as an arc. We're going to get certain people, certain animals, and we were going to get them off of the Earth before the radiation killed everyone. And thus explaining why we had a world-class vet before, although I still don't know what he was doing, like with the pig and everything. Because I, again, didn't go back and rewatch yet because I haven't taken my notes and everything. But in the first episode, it looked like the robot had, like, body part indicators. So maybe they were trying to take replacement organs from animals or something. If I just completely saw that wrong, and I've said it twice now for no reason, then, just ignore it. Wait till I get to the episode where I come back with notes and the board and everything, and obviously I'll have more to say with actual hindsight. Other than that, though, not a lot to go over here. Again, other than the dissonance. That's the last thing I'm going to bring up. The dissonance in tone. No word from New York. Paris is dead. Kenya is freaking out. I can't remember all the countries, but, like, one of them is, like, literally dying off and saying their goodbye. This is the final cries of humanity. And that should be impactful. That should be meaningful. That should drive something right here into your heart. And then immediately after that, it's a slapstick scene with a robot sexually harassing a woman. And it's like, I'm not in the mood for humor right now. Not anymore. I shouldn't be in the mood for humor for a while, as I try to encapsulate the idea of these pockets of humanity left all across the globe dying off to radiation sickness. I mentioned it like 3 times now over the course of 2 episodes on the beach. Literally, it is post-World War III. The northern hemisphere is dead due to the results of nuclear fallout, and the weather patterns of the Earth are bringing that nuclear fallout south of the equator. So literally, like, the last place left on Earth with population is Australia. And northern Australia, like, townships and everything are just popping off the map. Like, they are dying. And the government of Australia is literally giving people suicide kits so that you can take yourself out before the radiation wave hits. Because there's no one left. It's a very depressing movie. And that's, like, the final scenes. It's just, like, empty streets and whatnot. And people living out, like, what they would do in their final moments. So that's where my mind goes when I'm hearing them talk about this. And then, they might as well be Speed Racer's 2 childhood friends and their monkey playing around in the background. It's like, I'm not in the mood for that right now. You've set me up to have my mind spin about everything that's going on. I can't handle seeing a woman's underwear right now. I don't know what you want me to do with this. Anyway, obviously I've been rambling. I've been rambling for 10 minutes, I feel like. So, as we always do, when I'm in a ramble, we're going to call it here. So, once again, I've been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?